Yeah, thank you everyone for joining today. We're going to be talking about Concord's new MCP. We'll talk about what an MCP is, and then I'll also talk about Concord Horizon as well, which is our brand new AI-powered solution. So, just as a quick way of introduction, I'll start with myself. I'm Zach Kinsey, the head of sales here at Concord. I've been with Concord for about 10 years now, and happy to be showing you some of the new features that we have in Concord. Dakota, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Dakota. I'm a product manager here at Concord. I live more on the product side of things and helped our engineers kind of build out Horizon. I'll be in the chat here and ready to help answer questions and most importantly, get all of y'all's feedback about Horizon and about our MCP server.
Awesome. If you do have any questions, we have both a chat and a QA, so feel free to put some questions there. If you know, as we're going through this, if you have anything, just let us know. Um, yeah, Dakota, anything you want to share or add before we jump in?
Just that we're excited to jump in and show y'all Concord, show you this new functionality and hear how hopefully this is something everybody can work into your workflows.
Awesome. So let's talk about what MCP is. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's actually a very new thing that if you haven't heard about it before, it's totally okay. It's not like it's some old thing that's been around for a long time. The idea behind it, it's basically a USB for AI. So it's a way to plug different systems together. If you think about before the MCP, we had lots of different connectors, we had these proprietary protocols and siloed data. And the cool thing now is that there's one standard way to connect the different LLMs, the different AI tools together. It's very much plug and play. And not only the LLM tools, but also like the other tools and apps that you're already using today. So for example, we use the MCP with like Slack. We use it with our Gmail account, with our HubSpot account. We use it with Concord, obviously. So it's just a way to connect all of these different things together and be able to share data between them. So I'll be demonstrating that today, and you'll kind of see more about how it works. But just know that's the idea behind it is to be able to work in one place, like for example, inside of Claude or ChatGPT, but ask questions and have it connect to lots of different things across the board. So that is what the MCP is, and it was created by the company that started or that built Claude. So Anthropic, they're the ones that actually came up with the idea, the model, and they kind of built the standard for this. And this is what all the other companies have pretty much adopted as well. And so it is becoming the standard in the AI world. So how does it work? You've got your different AI assistant tools here. So ChatGPT, Claude, it could be other things like Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, whatever one you're using. You'll have and so they'll be able to talk to the standard MCP protocol, which is kind of like how things are, discussed or talking. And then that's going to connect into your data source. So, when it's talking to your MCP protocol, you're giving a request, it's being able to fetch that data or transfer data. And then that's also going to connect right into one of your tools, whether it be, like I said, Google Drive, Salesforce, HubSpot, Slack, Concord. So all those things can connect. So it's just a one way to connect everything together, is how it all works. And I'll give you a demonstration of it. I want to first give you a quick updated demo of Concord Horizon, just so you can see what the system is, kind of what Concord is generally speaking. And we're also going to talk about the MCP server as well, because in a lot of ways, it all kind of ties in together. So anyway, we will go through a few of them here. Do we have any? Did I see a question in the chat, Dakota, or did I not? I thought I saw something pop up.
Nope, just some welcomes for the webinar.
Okay, cool. That sounds great. Yeah, if you do have any questions, feel free to jump in and let me know, and we'll take it from there. So just first, a quick demonstration of Concord Horizon. So this is Concord Horizon. It's Concord's brand new AI-powered solution. The first screen that you're going to see here when you log in is our Concord Copilot. So I could do many things here. I could ask questions about my contract database. I could have the system create a review document for me. I could have it write language. It's basically like using a ChatGPT or other tools directly inside of the Concord application. So that's here. We do also have something that a lot of you, if you're using Concord, are more familiar with, and that's our contract inbox view. So if I click into this, I'm now able to see all the documents that I'm currently working on. And we've actually made a lot of upgrades and updates to really the whole system. As you can see, it's an all new, it's a complete redesign. So all new colors, much more modern, much more fresh. We also have one of the good things though is that we have not really moved anything around. So if you're someone that's already been using Concord, this should look very familiar to you. You should be able to come in and start using it right away because we've kind of kept everything in the same place. As you can see, your folders are still down here to the bottom left. You've still got like all of your tasks and your trash can and things up here. And then you have that inbox view that a lot of you should be pretty familiar with if you're using Concord. But we have made some major upgrades to the table itself here. So a couple things just to point out real quick. We have made it so your columns can be much more customizable. So you can add or remove columns anytime you want. And now you can actually work with any type of data field inside of Concord, whether that's an AI extracted field, a custom property, other field types, you can simply just add them directly into your inbox view here. We do also have a big upgrade to the filters. So before you could filter kind of one way and it was hard to, know what to do with that filter data. Now you can filter multiple ways very easily. So I can come in here and let's say I want to filter everything that was created this year. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back into January 1st up until today. And then I can also add another layer of filter. So maybe I want to filter by everything that is greater than a certain dollar amount. So in this case, we'll say like 10,000. So it's going to create that filter for me. I must be in my different database here. What in the world? Why is that filter not working? Um, Anyway, I don't know that I think I'm in the wrong database and maybe I don't have some dollar amounts, not positive, but basically you can filter multiple ways. You can pull back data. You can do some different things right inside the tool there. We also have made some big upgrades to the actual inbox itself. So we can, or the actual table, I should say. So you can now sort ascending or descending. We also have the ability to pin a column, which is something that I really like because you can pin that column and then scroll right to left. And on top of that, if I don't like the column length, I can also auto size the column to make it kind of fit better within the system here, or within the view, I should say. So lots of upgrades to the actual usability within this table and inbox view. And the cool thing is we didn't just add these new updates to the inbox itself, we've added them all over the system. So you now can, within your deadlines view or within, your reporting view, you have all the same features and functions. So when I come into any of those different views, I can also do the pinning of data. I can add different columns here. I can filter and sort. So just lots of different things I can do directly from within the tool. So that's all there as well. And then one last thing, we have made another cool update to the system, which is the ability to switch to dark mode. So if you wanted to use a system in dark mode here, you definitely can do that as well, just to kind of see everything. So this is Concord Horizon. If you don't have Horizon yet, which you probably don't because very few of our customers do, feel free to reach out to myself or to Vanessa. I'll put my email address into the chat here, and we would love to talk to you about upgrading to the Concord Horizon platform. I'm going to go ahead and put that here so everyone can reach out. So just so you know, that's what the new Horizon platform looks like. There is one other huge thing that I haven't even talked about yet, which is that Copilot. So the Copilot's pretty awesome. You can do a lot of things with that. You can ask it questions and do different things. So for example, I'm going to have it pull up. I'm going to have it build a quick report for me of all contracts over 100,000. And so it's going to go into my database. It's going to fetch that data for me, and it should create a report. And it should pull that up here. There we go. Yeah, Dakota, I don't know why that filter wasn't working earlier. We'll have to
Yeah.
we'll have to
Yeah,
figure that one out. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll dive into that one.
But there we go. So I just asked it to create a report of all contracts over 100,000. It actually went into my database and it pulled up that report for me here, which is really awesome. And then you can also see that the AI actually created the filter based on the stage assigned, and also the total value is greater than 100,000. So it did work in this case, no problems. So that Copilot is quite powerful. You can, like I said, upload documents, have it do things for you. So lots of things you can do with that here in the Concord platform. I'm going to switch into the MCP, but I just wanted to give you a quick overview of some of the cool new features that we have in Concord Horizon. If you have any questions, like I said, just let us know. Dakota, anything you want to add? Any thoughts?
I think you've highlighted a lot of the really cool new features with this. One thing that is more on the background is that what this has done is it allowed us to build a new foundation. So every new thing we build moving forward, we're going to be faster at it. And as many people who have been Concord users for a long time know, we have sometimes in the past had our document view. We would release a new feature and then it would take us a while to get it updated on the deadline table. Or we have a brand new deadlines page, but our intake table is a little behind. One of the cool new things with this is that now we're using the same kind of table structure across the board. So whenever we do push something out new, it's going to be across the board on all of your pages at the same time. So we're able to really grow a lot quicker and more efficiently here. So that's just something that we're really excited about on the technical side of things, is being able to push out new stuff faster.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been some huge improvements there. I definitely agree with that. The back end of Concord has improved quite a bit. Great. Well, thank you for all that. Let's go ahead and transition into our MCP demo. So right now I'm actually showing you Claude. So I'm going to choose to do this demonstration in Claude today. You could do the same thing with ChatGPT or other AI tools, but for now, just our LLMs as they're called. For now, I'm going to use this inside of Claude. Um, so the idea behind this, like I said, is you have the ability to connect your AI tool into many different applications. So right now I'm going to show you my connectors. I have this connected into Google Drive, to Gmail, my calendar, Concord, HubSpot, Slack. So like there's many different tools connected here. So I can actually ask questions about many different things. If I wanted to have it go through my emails and tell me which things I forgot to reply to, or give me a summary of the important emails that I missed or whatever, I can do that. If I want to have it go into my HubSpot account and tell me about my sales pipeline, tell me what I should be following up on or how healthy my pipeline is, I can do that because it has access to it. I've given it access to it. So there's a lot of different cool use cases you can do here, and it's quite powerful. But for today, we're going to be talking mainly about the Concord application and how we, through our MCP, can work with that. So let me pull this up. So I'm going to first give it a prompt of this. Let me just add it here. So when is the December 2nd, 2026 wellness program agreement renewing and for how much? So because this is connected into my Concord account, it's going to go into Concord. It's going to actually look through all my contract database, figure out when that contract is going to be renewing, and hopefully pull back that information for me. I mean, I know it will. I just tested it, but it'll go ahead and find that information. So the point of me showing you this first use case is just knowing that like, hey, this is connected there. It can go in and search. And it's kind of cool to see what's happening. Right now, the AI is actually going in and telling us, so it's kind of trying to find different ways to make this happen. And it is showing us what it's doing. So like what the thought process is. So it's saying, hey, I didn't find anything here. So I'm going to go into an advanced search and look for this a different way. So the cool thing about this is if the AI doesn't figure it out on the very first try, it's going to then continue to try different ways of doing that. Dakota, you want to talk to that at all?
Yeah, so this is a really cool kind of mixture between the LLM and Concord. And so what we've done is we've provided Claude, in this case, a few different tools, and then we're letting Claude or ChatGPT or whatever LLM you're using kind of use those tools however they think is going to be most efficient to get the data. And so it's very different than a more traditional integration where we are being very firm and saying, hey, this is what the tool does, this is how you will use it. Instead, we're more kind of presenting and saying, hey, let's let the AI do its thing. Claude is very good at summarizing, at gathering information, and we're just kind of giving it the tools to do so. So it's a very exciting thing for the nerdier of us.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as you can see here, it did a great job to pull back that information. So the original prompt was, when is the December 2nd, 2026 wellness program agreement renewing and for how much? It went in, it found that agreement, and it pulled back the information. So it is going to renew. It's showing me the period here of the contract. It's renewing on December 2nd, 2026, and the amount is 558,000. And then it also even highlights where the renewal information is going to be there and gives me the answer. So it basically did exactly what I was looking for, and it did that through that MCP. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and jump into a different prompt. We'll give it a little bit more of a challenge here, and each one of these prompts will get a little bit trickier to for the LM to resolve, or the AI, I should say. So I'm going to ask it which contracts are renewing next year, and give me a table with the amounts and links to the contracts. So in order to do this, it's going to have to go through the whole database, find the contracts, build the table, and also link them all together. So let's see how that can do here.
Yeah, so building on kind of the giving it the tool side of things. In this case, what we've done is we're giving the LLM the ability to search through both all of your contracts in the repository as well as the content in order to get the key pieces of information that they need. In this case, the renewal dates. So there, it's currently running through all of the contracts, running through those renewal dates. But then the building out the table side of things, that's all Claude. That's taking the information and then it's doing its thing and making it, putting it together in a really readable fashion, in an easy to use fashion for y'all.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that's been a game changer for me is just the fact that you can connect this with so many tools. Like I said,
Mhm.
I'm using this to help review my, pipeline or pipeline of other people. I'm using this to, like I said, review emails and, see which ones that I should be responding to quicker or reviewing the ones that are important to me. There's just so many use cases for it. So yeah, I'm sure in your work you could probably find a few ways to speed up what you're doing and use the power of AI for sure.
Mhm.
There's a question here in the chat, Dakota. Do you see that? Is there
Let's see.
documentation for the tool calls available? Do we have any documentation for that?
Yes, actually. It is, let's see. Adam here. I can send over, we've got the documentation for setting these up done today and live in our help center. The documentation for the exact calls is in kind of the final approval right now with our dev team, but it actually should be live later this afternoon. So I will be able to follow up and send that out to you a little later today.
Awesome.
It is worth noting that before you jump in and start setting this up, you do need to be on one of the Horizon enabled plans. So if you're interested in using our new MCP server, we've got to get you connected with Zach as the first step, get you on one of the Horizon enabled plans, and then you'll be able to set up these MCP connections.
Well, the good news is Adam is in fact on a Horizon plan, so
Fantastic.
so he definitely has access. Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
Great. So here's all the contracts pulling up here. And as you can see, it's building that out for me. It's kind of cool to see the AI working in real time, and just basically doing exactly what we asked it to do. One thing that came up, I've done a few of these webinars for different groups, and one question that came up often was, how accurate is this, or how closely do we think it's getting to the real results? I will say I've tested it lots of different ways, from the results that it pulled back, and if anything, it's giving me more data than I asked for because it's just doing its best to go find things like, for example, in HubSpot, it's like sometimes if I don't have it in the exact right stage, then it's going to include that into my report, and so I have to make sure that that's like super clean. So what I have not seen a lot of is it not including things in the report. Usually it is actually quite accurate, and every time I've used it with a Concord use case, I haven't seen any issues with the results. Everything has been exactly what I've had in there. So this is giving me a list of all of my contracts that are expiring in 2026. It found 23 total contracts. It's giving me a link to every single contract here, the title of the document, and just so you know, these are not real contracts. So we're we don't use real contract data here. Don't worry, these are not like sharing some sensitive data. But at the bottom here, we have the total contract value as well. So we've got that data here in the system. And yeah, so it pulled that back for us using that tool. Um, great. So if the, let's go ahead and talk through kind of the next thing here, the next use case, which is a little bit of a trickier use case, and it may or may not work because there's some different things here. So let's talk through it. This is the one that uses lots of tools or multiple tools. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to have it use a couple different tools here. In this case, I'm going to have it check my Slack DM from Ben Thomas. In the message he sent today, make the update to the document titled Yes Communities Vendor Contract November 2025 that he requested. So that is basically the request. So it'll go in and look for a message from Ben. And then based on that message, it should be able to change that term there. So yeah, as you can see, it's thinking, it's doing its thing. And some of these do take a while. The AI is kind of going through and doing a lot of different things here. But it looks like it did find that message from Ben today. So that's good. The first thing has been completed. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you for that question,
Oh, yeah.
Jose. Yeah, so there is a zero attention data policy or zero data retention policy, I should say. Um, so what that means, all of the connectors that we have in with all of our different providers through the MCP, we all have these agreements with the AI companies that says that they will not keep any of the data. They also will not train any of the models using any of our customer data or our data. Now, there is one caveat to that. If you are someone that's using a free account for one of these LLMs, we can't guarantee that you have that same contract or same policy if it's a free account. So if you're on
Mhm.
like ChatGPT for free or Claude for free, they may be actually using your data. That would be between you and your LLM. But as far as Concord goes, the connections in and out of our system, we do have that specific policy in place. So the data is going to be extremely secure with our platform and, anytime you're using it. But with your LLM itself, just make sure that you have one of those paid accounts or those like enterprise agreements in place, which you should have one of those zero data retention policies. So, Dakota, you want to add anything for
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, just say everything that you do within Concord side of things. We have that. Yeah, we have a full zero data retention policy. We work with all of the LLM and AI companies that we work with. We have that in place. But as Zach mentioned, you want to be very careful anytime you're connecting these tools together to make sure that every side of that connection has the same policy. So if you are giving the keys here, which is what the MCP server is doing to Claude, you want to make sure that you're on a plan that also has that um, zero retention policy. Because we can have the most secure house, but if you give the keys away, that you got to be careful where you place those. So.
Yep, yep, absolutely. And some of this will take a little bit of time. It's you know, it's going through a lot of processes here and finding the best way to do it. So sometimes this last step can take a minute. And we are getting a little short on time. Dakota, anything else you want to add while we wait for this?
Yeah. One thing it is we're demoing today in Claude, and one thing really cool about that is Claude is outlining the different steps that it's doing as it does them. That on the ChatGPT side is a little bit more hidden. So if you go in and you're testing this with the ChatGPT side of things, you're running these same types of prompts. It is worth noting that since it's not quite as clear what it's doing, sometimes it can seem like it's lagging or it's taking a while. It really is just running through and doing a lot of different things on the back end with both the in this case, connection to Slack and the connection to Concord. It's not always as clear what it's working on, but it is working. It's just kind of going in the back. Um, Another thing that I'll note is right now, this really is kind of the first version of our MCP. So we've given it a few tool calls. What it's doing is it's able to search through all of your documents, both searching through the repository and the document content itself, as well as do some of the basic report generation. But we are planning on really growing what the MCP can do and adding more tools. So keep an eye out because over the next few months, we're going to be adding more and more tools to this to make this a larger and larger integration.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, right in the nick of time, it finished here. So we've got it did actually update the contract to prepaid by supplier like I asked it to. So this is the contract inside of Concord. It's gone in and actually created a whole new version here. And if I come down to the shipping, it will say that the prepaid by supplier, which is exactly what I asked it to change. So it worked perfectly there. Yeah. Um, Will it filter on custom properties in this version? I think you're referring to Horizon, maybe?
Mhm.
Yes. I mean, the answer is
So
yes.
yes, in some places. So the filtering within the columns is something that's being worked on. Um, And so if you hover over Zach, say the document title and then show the direct in column filtering, you can see that like type has the column filter button visible, but folder doesn't. And so we're currently working on updating all of the columns to have the exact same functionality. It's not quite there yet with all of the custom properties. So you will see some slight differences right now that is actively being developed as we speak and should be out sometime in the following weeks or beginning of next year.
Yep.
Oh, so the MCP server today is not looking at the metadata of your documents. So the MCP server right now is not going to be able to search based on a custom property that you have set on the document level. That is also one of the top things that we're working on getting updated, and will be in one of the early updates to the MCP.
Yep.
But great question.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you all have learned something about the MCP server today. We are happy to be showing it and very happy that the feature is here. If you want to reach out and get more information, feel free to reach out to one of your points of contact here, Concord, Vanessa, our CSM, myself, Dakota. We also have our support at concord.app email. You can reach out there as well. So just let us know and we're happy to help. We will not keep you any longer. I know we're over time, so have a great rest of the day.